Hey guys, welcome back to Scottsdale Living podcast. So today I'm here with Doug from the Arizona Painting Company, one of the owners, fellow Michigander, which is really, really cool for me. But we're going to talk painting. We'll talk a little bit about Arizona. We'll talk about summers. But dude, great to have you here. Really appreciate it. So tell me a little bit about this journey, man. So you bought the company in 2014 from the original owner. You guys are in a couple different states now. Man, it's a lot to do, right? So how do you guys handle that whole thing?
Yeah, thanks a lot, John. Thanks for having me on today. I started in the painting industry when I was 19 years old.
Wow.
I started knocking on doors in the evenings.
Old school,
painting
right?
during the day. Yeah, I was learning it from the ground up, and then I basically did every position from there until 2014.
Yeah.
Former owner was ready to sell, kind of semi-retire, so he sold the company to me and my two partners. At the time, we had about 40, 45 employees. We had one location in Chandler. So fast forward about 10 years to today, we've got about 310 employees.
Dude, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, we're in 4 different states.
And is that like W-2 employees or the contractors?
Yep. Yeah,
we
use a few subcontractors just on some commercial projects, but mostly, they're all W-2 full-time employees. Trained and
so payroll's got to keep you up at night sometimes.
Yeah,
right?
It does, right? You have to be on your collections and making sure you're collecting jobs quickly and all that stuff. But it's been an amazing journey. We've got some amazing people, great leaders. Like that's the only way we can be in multiple states is we've got a general manager in each location.
And process, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like painting, and not a knock on you guys in any way, but as a real estate agent, I feel like painters and realtors kind of get looked at a lot in the same light because there's a lot of ones out there that just shouldn't be doing it, right? Yeah. So I mean, how do you differentiate? Obviously, you guys are a professional organization. You got hundreds of employees, multiple states. How do you get that point across to the consumer versus the guy that's maybe half your cost? But he's going to disappear in the middle of the job, or he's not going to finish, or he's not licensed. Or, how do you get that message across?
Yeah, communication is really the key. I mean, to your point, right? The typical contractor, homeowners, people buying, selling a house need to get work done. They expect to get a response back in maybe a day, 2 days, sometimes a week, right? And we really pride ourselves on being different. We give same day written quotes. Wow. So you get an estimate from us, you call us, we come out, give you a written quote right there on the spot. That's one thing we do. We communicate. That's part of our guarantee that we guarantee to all our customers. Another thing is same day response. So when you call us, email, text, even if you can't fix your problem, if there's a problem or you need something, we're going to get back to you the same day. So having that mentality and really kind of driving that throughout our organization, I think is one of the things that really separates us.
And that's so. I mean, that also comes back to scale a little bit. So I'm sure you guys have estimators, and that's what they do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Whereas your average dude that's doing a house every couple of weeks is scrambling between everything, right?
Yeah, and you are potentially going to get maybe a cheaper or better price. But
never
the
hear from the guy again either, right?
If there's a warranty issue or anything down the road, who knows what type of service you're going to get. So that's why we really pride ourselves again on being consistent and giving the same product to any customer that calls us.
So let's rewind a little bit because every business, and we talked to a ton of business owners, every business owner went through this. How did COVID affect you guys? I mean, you could still work, right?
Yeah, we could, but man, for a couple weeks there, I was just talking to my wife because it literally was about 2 months ago when that was that time frame, in kind of middle March when it really, you start seeing the domino effect. Every state was starting to get shut down slowly. And biggest issue that affected us initially was just customers didn't really want us to come to their house. So
can you stand in the street?
Exactly. So it was really hard at first to give estimates, keep our salespeople busy. So that was our first issue. On the commercial side, we had a lot of projects lined up, ready to go, that all started getting put on hold, started getting pushed back, started getting canceled because they just weren't sure what was going to happen with funding. And so it was a big strain on the business for a month there. And then
well, thankfully you weren't like back in Michigan where they shut the whole thing down.
Exactly. Right? Arizona, we're in a really good state where a lot of states were a lot more strict and stringent on that. But that was the first issue, and then the compounded issue later was then you had this huge demand kind of get through into 2020. So then we had a paint shortage issue. Our whole industry felt it.
It's crazy, right?
Our whole industry. You put a paint product on a quote, and then you go in 2 weeks try to order from Sherwin-Williams or Dunn Edwards or Behr even, and they wouldn't have it, and they couldn't really tell you when they were going to get that product. So. Yeah, it was definitely challenging. You had to send our guys to multiple stores to go get 1 gallon to finish a job. So it definitely took a lot of communication with our paint reps and things like that, and with our customers to let them know what to expect.
Yeah. So how has the business been as far as like consumable pricing? Because I know in a lot of different businesses, the prices have just gone through the roof. I mean, you guys experienced something similar in the paint industry?
A little bit. In 2023, between 2022 and 2023, we had 4 different price increases from our biggest vendor, which is Sherwin-Williams.
Sure.
So yeah, that affects, I mean, you go to the consumer, that affects the pricing that we're going to have to charge to them. So yeah, it has gone up. But man, I swear I've gotten quotes for myself in my own house, and we deal with a lot of different vendors. I swear, some AC, plumbing, I think electrical, some of those have definitely gone up more percentage wise than painting, but painting has gone up.
Have gone through the roof, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, with inflation, and I mean, you got to think. Our employees, our painters are, now their rent's gone up, their groceries have gone up, their gas, insurance, all that. So, we have to factor all those in to make sure we can keep really skilled, quality people on our team.
So tell me a little bit about you go from 100 employees to 300. How does that evolution work? And I mean, it's a pretty short period of time, like 7-8 years, right?
Yep.
So I mean, how did you have a mentor for that, or you just kind of learned on the fly? How did that happen?
Yeah, so I have a business coach I work with every month. I'm a part of a CEO peer group that's been really good. But yeah, I mean, a lot of it has been me and my partners really, every year we set big goals. We set aggressive goals. And we just say, okay, we set the big goal and then we work backwards. What are all the things we need to do? How many leads? How many customers? What's our average job size?
So you guys are running it like a business.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah. That's the way we've done it. And how many crews are we going to need to train to hire to be able to service if we get this amount of leads and this amount of customers? So really working backwards, setting big aggressive goals, and then really just driving, pushing. I hear so many partnerships and things like that just don't end up working. We've been fortunate, like I said, 10 years we've been working together, and we still all like each other, right? We work well together. We know we've really worked to define our roles even as we've kept growing to make sure we each know what we're doing in the business and how we're helping it.
So do you guys kind of have like your own separate identity as far as what you do in the business?
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, we definitely do. I handle, now a lot of our culture. I'm more of the face of the business. A lot of the coaching, internals, things like that. One of my partners handles more like the CFO type role, like finances, back end, legal, anything like that. And then the other one handles a lot more of the operations. So our fleet, our insurances, a lot of things to deal with that.
So to scale like you guys have, I mean, it takes multiple different things, right? I mean, one, you got to have a really good product and good service too. And 2, great systems and processes, which sounds like you have. But so what has worked for you guys as far as like the marketing end of it and advertising? What do you find that really drives your phone to ring?
Well, biggest thing that drives the phone calls is what you just said, how good of a job we do. So unpaid marketing, it's previous customers, it's word of mouth. We put yard signs every job site, all those things. But on the paid side, we made a big investment probably back in 2015, 2016 to really start wrapping a lot more of our vehicles. So we've got billboards that are on the road every day. We've got, I think we're up to like 90 some trucks on the road right now.
So you pay once and it's out there for a long time.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's one. Google obviously is the giant right now. And they're starting to get more and more almost cost prohibitive though, because it's getting more expensive because everybody's paying for key AdWords and things like that. So
it got way more competitive in the last few years.
Yep. But we've made a shift to, more social media. We have some influencers we work with to try to really be more local in the community. So that's, Phoenix as a whole has just gotten so big in the last 10 years.
The sprawl is crazy too.
Yeah, right? That, you could be spending some marketing dollars here, but this other huge community out in Goodyear may never even hear of you, may not even know who you are. So it's definitely a work in progress, but we do a lot of things to just try to get our name out there. We also do a lot in the community. So we do Paint It Forwards every year. So we offer to a community member that maybe needs to have their house painted but can't afford it. We ask for nominations of people to nominate somebody really cool. like that. And then we choose somebody every year, and then our employees donate their Saturday. We go out there, paint their house for free. Makes such a big difference for them, and our guys and our team loves doing it.
Yeah,
so
and you guys do interior and exterior?
We do, yep.
Okay, so the whole gamut.
Yep, interior, exterior. We've added a few services as well as we've kind of grown.
Sure.
So we do cabinet painting, we do garage floor epoxy coating, and then we also do window washing.
Oh, that's
which
cool.
Might sound, okay, why do you a painting company? Why are you doing window washing? Well,
Oh, you're there.
yeah, it started from kind of a challenge from our customers. They didn't love after you power wash a house, you start to see streaks and it leaves dirt on the windows. So we said, okay, well, let's just start including and offering this to our customers. And doing that's been just another thing to leave our customers feeling great about how their house looks when we get done.
So when you took over the business in 2014, right?
Yep.
Were you guys in multiple states at that time or just here?
Nope, we just had one location in Chandler.
Okay.
Then from there we have like 6 different offices, one in Tucson as well. We have one in the East and West Valley, and then we're in, like I said, 3 other states.
So what was like, so let's pick Vegas where you guys went to. What was that process like? I mean, it's got to be one, a little terrifying, but two, just, I mean, a lot of work, right?
Yeah.
Did you have to be on the ground in Vegas for a whole bunch?
Yeah, we did. We went there first, kind of scoped out the city, you got to know some of our vendors there, some of our reps, Sherwin-Williams. And then we had a key leader here in Phoenix that was willing and wanted to move there to get going. So yeah, it was great. Somebody we trusted. He went, and it was a lot of bootstrapping. There was a lot of, knocking on doors, getting out in the community.
Went back to the old school thing again, right?
Absolutely, yeah, meeting people. So he did that. It took us a couple years though, man. We started there in 2017. It took us 2 to 3 years before we really start seeing some traction.
So it starts hitting right when COVID comes down.
Yeah, I know, right? And then in 2020, COVID hit Vegas. Out of any of our cities we're in, it was probably the worst there because you think their whole industry is tourism, people coming to the Strip. When that goes away, like all the money that gets spent in the city starts to go away.
Dries up, right?
Yeah, so 2020 was a rough year, but on the heels of that, 2021 was finally our first, like, okay, we're doing really well here. Made some progress, and then since then it's been really well.
So you guys are mostly like repaint, right? So there's not much new build, new construction?
Yeah, we do very little. We've done a little bit in Tucson, a little bit in Phoenix, but no, we specialize in repaint. Painting homeowners' homes. So they get HOA letter, interior painting. You want to see a new color on the walls, get your trim painted, your ceilings. Like that's what we do every day.
So what's up with the new construction? Because I've worked with a lot of builders. It's probably kind of a pain, right? I mean, they dictate the schedule and the pay and everything else.
It's a pain, man. It's a pain. Very low margins. Very difficult with schedule and with having to have
all the time, right?
Having to have so many employees, having to have so many change orders that you almost end up fighting over change orders of what's actually a change order versus what isn't. And it's just more of a cutthroat industry whereas, I prefer and our team prefers to work with, have a great relationship with your customer versus that world. It's a little bit more just kind of dog eat dog.
Yeah, and it's a commodity in that world, right? I mean, it's like you get to see your customers and they're happy and they're like, oh, this is fantastic.
Exactly.
You probably never seen the owner of the house in the new construction.
No, you don't. A lot of times if it's multifamily, you don't see all the residents that move into the apartments. You don't never see that. You just deal with the GC or the builder that, it's like, again, it's kind of a
totally
fight.
So tell me a little bit about like culture. So how do you maintain, with 300 employees, multiple different states, how do you maintain that culture? Because, the culture is a huge part, especially in a business like yours. Is it team meetings? Is it Zooms? What do you guys do? Yeah,
we do a lot of virtual. So I try to do at least every quarter, I do a company-wide update where I get everybody, the entire team on there could be their phone in the office on a computer screen, but everybody on there to know what we're doing, what we're doing well on, what we need to keep working on, things like that. But also a lot of it's driven through our general managers. So we get our general managers together every quarter. We do 2 to 3 days just of planning of working on the business versus in the business. And we really, again, make sure that they're driving and living out the culture and helping their team be better in the ways that we want to do as a company.
Sure. So. Yeah. And what's a follow-up look like on that? Is there somebody on staff that is like kind of in charge for maintaining that kind of
absolutely. Deal? Yeah. Our COO, he's the one that all of our general managers report up to. And he's the one that I work directly with very closely. And he's kind of driving and infusing that culture and really, kind of doing monthly one-on-ones, usually daily, even kind of check-ins and just how's everything going? What do we need to work on? Things like that.
Sure. So that's an interesting, you bring up the C-level suite, right? Did you guys have like C-level officers when you first bought it?
No. Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
So that's a big jump, right?
Just in the last 2 years, we've kind of delegated or kind of created these roles inside the company.
Yeah. So how did you feel giving up some of that, the daily power, right? I mean, it's kind of what it is. Right?
So yeah, we literally, the COO, this guy from Sherwin-Williams that had kind of moved up rapidly through their company, was a district manager, ran the whole market in Vegas. We brought him on literally this year. Wow. So up until this year, I'd kind of been in the CEO and kind of COO type role where I was like managing, kind of driving the strategy, but also coming up with the strategy and trying to drive culture. So bringing him on has been a huge improvement just in terms of the time and energy and focus we have with our general managers to help them make sure they feel supported. We want them to look at, running a branch in our company, we want them to look at that like it's their business inside the business. So we want them to think like business owners, act like business owners, and really just make sure we're giving a great product to our customers. Yeah. Make sure we're giving a quality job.
What's really interesting in talking to like a lot of really successful business owners like yourself, it's the ones that really seem to exceed and grow are the ones that kind of learn to work on their business rather than in their business, And it seems like bringing in that C-level gives you the ability to do that where you're not the nuts and bolts and kind of lose the bigger picture, right?
Yep. Yeah, as we've grown, we just realized like I can't communicate and work with every customer that we have well, or else there's just going to be fires every day. Yeah, right. Totally. So we have to build out those layers of leadership and make sure everybody knows what's expected of them and what their role is and how they win. So a big thing that we've implemented 4 or 5 years ago was KPIs and a scorecard for our general managers, and then for really been working on it for every position to make sure they know every week, like, are you winning or losing in your role? So
it's measurable, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So I think back to your culture question, that's been one of the biggest things that's helped us is having these scorecards and helped our team know if they're doing well or not.
Yeah. So in a business like yours, reviews are huge, right? And it's how do you guys kind of run that? Because it kind of stinks in some ways because anybody can leave a review on anything. The people that are happy usually don't leave the reviews. You know what I mean? So it's the ones that are negative. How do you guys approach those?
Yeah, you're 100% right. If you're unhappy, you're definitely going to go on and write a 1-star review. If you're happy, maybe 1 or 2 times out of 10, you might go on and write a review. So we're very intentional about that. We ask for the reviews at multiple stops along the way, even starting with our salespeople. They ask for, hey, if you had a great experience with me today, I'd love it if you go on and here's the link, if you go on and write a review. So asking, being intentional, but then really just delivering what you promise. You know, that's one of our core values, is deliver what you promise with excellence. And if we do that all along the way, we're going to be different than most painting companies.
Yeah, totally. Totally. Yeah. So what do you run into in the field when you're how do you educate your clients in the bidding process, the estimating process, to separate yourself from, the dude that's got one truck and his son-in-law that's helping him, How do you differentiate those? Yeah,
we've got a good 7-step written sales process that starts with the setup, starts with the estimator showing up on time with a polo, with a wrap vehicle. And then through there, our CRM really helps with kind of setting us apart. In some of our leave behind materials we leave with our customers, we offer a bronze, silver, gold, and platinum package. So again, right there, most painting contractors, they don't even talk about what type of paint they're going to use. Oh yeah, we'll include the paint. But there's a lot of different levels of paint. So you, Mr. Jones, might not know what if there's a better level out there, right? That's going to give you a longer life for your paint job. So educating homeowners with that. We offer free color consultation to our customers. So that really helps too. Most, guy in a truck doesn't have somebody that they can help send after the estimate to help you with colors to make sure that you're going to pick the right colors to be happy with.
So you guys built an experience.
Exactly. Yeah. Most our biggest pain point from our customers a lot of times is just colors, right? Yeah. Picking the right colors, being confident in those colors.
The HOA controls a lot of that too, right?
They do. Yeah, they do. But again, they give you online, you get these swatches and you can't really tell what they're going to look like. A brown on a swatch on a computer screen.
You see monitors from 1972 and the guy's
for sure. Yeah. But that color could come out looking pink on your house and then you're upset. And then now we have to, we can repaint it, but it's going to be X amount and now it's going to cost you more money. So again, trying to eliminate those pain points from homeowners has been something that's helped us a lot.
Yeah. So Doug, people buy from people, right? So tell us a little bit about you. I know you're a Michigan guy. How'd you end up in Arizona?
Yeah. So I grew up in Michigan. I moved out of Michigan when I was 19 years old. I was looking for an opportunity. So I did a semester at junior college, but I knew eventually I wanted to own my own business.
Sure.
You know, I read this book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad when I was in middle school.
You know he lives here.
I do, yeah. We painted his building.
Jet, right? Oh, did you really?
We painted his building, which is just a couple streets over,
It's funny. We had Todd Spitzer, who owns Ion Jets on, and I'm pretty sure like he manages his jet for him or whatever. So just wild.
So cool, yeah. I got a chance to meet him, so it was so cool. Just kind of the whole, I don't know, I guess backstory for me. Kind of when I started that mentality. I wanted to own my own business, started that mentality when I was in middle school. So didn't really want to or plan to do the whole college degree thing. So I went for a semester. I was looking for opportunities. Got hooked up with a guy, family friend that lived in Atlanta that owned a painting company that I knew from Michigan, but he had done this thing called College Pro Painters in Michigan. And I called him and said, hey, what do you think about me doing this? He's like, you could do that or come down to Atlanta, learn from me, maybe a bigger business, kind of a bigger painting company than what that kind of franchise would be. So I'm like, yeah. So I moved down, 19 years old, started working for him, spent a year there through kind of him. And then he had a partner at the time. I started getting to know him, and he's the one that actually became my mentor.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he had another branch at the time in Birmingham, Alabama. So I spent 3 years there, and then he brought me out to Phoenix in 2012. And I worked for him here for a year and a half, and then he was ready to sell and kind of retire. So he sold his business here to me and my two partners. So he, again, from ages 20 to 25, he was like my mentor in business and really taught me a lot about business. And, and when I got out to Phoenix, I thought, man, I'll be here maybe 6 months, and I want to go start my own painting company. Yeah, but then I got out here. I'd never even visited before I moved, and I got out here. I'm like, this place is amazing.
Well, do people from Michigan go to Florida?
They do. That's where you go. You go to Orlando. You go to the beach somewhere down there. But I came out here, and I'm like, this is amazing. Like, I love this climate, the hiking, the sun every day, like all the stuff. So never really wanted to move after I got out here. And then I met my wife in 2016. We've got
you're in
3 kids out here now. So we're pretty locked in for the time being.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your biggest struggle. So you buy this business in 2014. Obviously, there's some capital involved, and that's your personal business. But I mean, what kept you up at night when you're going through that transition?
Yeah, man. What kept me up at night? We bought the business. In our business, a lot of it, we don't have ongoing huge contracts or maintenance contracts. So I'd really say our leads and sales, a lot of times that's something like that can kind of keep you up. And I mean, we have a big enough track record now that and you kind of expect what we should get based on what we spend in marketing. And but there'll be times throughout the last 10 years where it's just like, man, our leads are just not coming in what we expected, or our sales, our close rate's gone down. What are we missing? So things like that, definitely when you set a big goal, and then if you're missing it by a lot, like those are the things that probably kind of keep me up at night, like, of how are we going to get to the goal still?
Yeah, it's really interesting you brought up the CRM, right? Because, I mean, I see so many businesses that don't manage their data and their customer relationships and the marketing and everything else. And, boy, it's really easy to lose track of, what you're spending, where it's going, and the ROI. So, I mean, how did you guys did you buy the place with the CRM in place? Or?
No, so when we bought the business, we were using QuickBooks Online at the time, so not a very good kind of customer interfacing CRM. We went to another one, a really small, designed just for painting companies, but it was called Cork. But really, it changed in literally right after COVID. We'd already been planning on it, then COVID hit, but we still kind of went through with it. But we got on a Service Titan in 2020, which is huge in the HVAC, plumbing, and then now garage door, A1 garage door. I know the owner over there, Tommy Mello. He's the one that helped get us to be the first painting company on there.
Cool. Right.
But man, this CRM sends if you're a homeowner, we're coming to give you an estimate. You get a text message with a picture, a bio of the technician when they're on the way. You get constant updates throughout the project. You get, when we do the estimate, you get a lot of pictures and kind of with data showing what we're doing. We get, on the minute job costing where we can look at our job costs. I can pull reports on my phone and literally see how many leads we've got in each one of our cities right now. Like just like you said, the data, but also for our customers, they get way more than they typically would get from, again, just kind of a guy in a truck that sends you an emailed written quote. Like we're showing you the quote on a tablet with pictures. You're going to get all that in your email right away. some of those
an
things
unbelievable
helps.
difference in a business, doesn't
Yeah.
it? It's like, can't believe more people, everybody should do it.
Yeah, it does. And that's one of the reasons that's allowed us to scale
Sure.
better in the last 3 to 4 years is having this really good CRM.
Yeah. And boy, it's a pain to set up though, right? Was it
Yeah.
just a total pain?
Man, if you ask some of our people, man, they were about ready to quit dealing with
Yeah.
just the huge change and learning it.
Yeah.
So, but man, 3 to 6 months down the road, though, you ask any one of those employees, and
I'm sure
they're
they
like,
love it now.
"Oh, why didn't we do this sooner?" It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, you were ready to throw the tablet out the window.
Yeah,
at
totally.
moments, you know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's a challenge. But once you get it going and get people on it, it's way better.
So it's going to sound crazy because people probably don't think about this, but I'm sure there's a lot of like new technology coming out in the painting industry. So I mean, what are you seeing that's going to be different for consumers?
Yeah, AI definitely kind of on a back end kind of office operation side
Sure.
is definitely one that's starting to make some waves.
Yeah.
And it's really helped us be more efficient, helped cut man hours, doing
Sure.
things like job descriptions, posting ads,
Yeah.
internal memos, things like that. But in the painting world itself, we haven't seen a ton of this here in the U.S. yet, but over in Europe, we're already seeing videos come out of robots painting like warehouse walls.
Sure.
So I think we're still a little ways away from it being able to paint houses or full buildings, but
It's coming, right?
Yeah, it's definitely coming. There's obviously already technology that where you can program to have walls, buildings, things like that being painted, where it takes one person,
Right.
and you don't have to get on ladders. So think about the safety,
Yeah.
changes there, which would just help be safer. Guys not having to get on boom lifts and ladders and things like that.
Well, we actually got guys here in this building that custom make drones, and one of they called heavy lift drones, which I find kind of crazy because it's like 20 pounds, right?
Yep.
But they actually build a drone that paints. So really limited kind of market for it so far, but I can't imagine like it's going to be huge.
It's
right?
coming though, yeah, absolutely. That's another way to
Yeah.
be able to get to like the 2 stories.
Right.
Is having a drone that can, if we're using a sprayer, all they need to be able to carry is the handle to be able to go up there and to spray and yeah, it's coming. Yeah, it's not there yet, but it's the technology starting to be introduced.
Probably something you got to stay ahead of too.
It is, yeah. It's something we've already been looking at. Now, we haven't made a huge investment in it yet, but I can see over the next 3 to 5 years us really looking at making a big investment to try to be, we always want to be the kind of on the cutting edge and the kind of the first in our industry to do something. And that's something I think one of the next big things that they'll be coming.
So I think you guys are like 65% residential, 35% commercial?
Yep.
Is that about
Yeah,
right?
right around there.
So which do you prefer? And what is the commercial end a different beast altogether? I mean, is that project property managers and stuff like that? Or
Yeah, a lot of our customers are commercial property managers, facilities managers, could be schools, churches, things like that. General contractors. We have one right down the road we do a lot of work for.
Sure.
But yeah, it is different. I mean, which do I like more? At times the commercial, but it also the residential can be really good. Residential, you get to see in 3 to 4 days, man, you see a huge transformation.
Yeah.
You get a really happy customer that's right there that you can see, and you made a huge difference in their life that they now get to see every day when they pull up to their house.
Sure.
On the commercial though,
process, right?
yeah, it's a much bigger job. So, oh man, this is great. Scheduling, it's easier because you have maybe $100,000 job, whereas in the residential, it could take you 30 customers to get to that same amount of revenue.
Sure.
But it takes a lot longer to be able to see that finished product.
Yeah.
And sometimes you might not even be working directly for the owner. We're working for somebody that's just doing their job, like a property manager. So, what we found in commercial though, if you eliminate headaches and if our customer, the property managers, don't get any complaints from tenants or anything like that, you win, right? You end up, they want to use you and keep using you.
So when you guys go into a residential home, are you collecting a deposit up front, or how do you usually run that?
Yeah, we do, because we're going to show up with all the paint on site.
So
So,
you got money out
we
of
do.
pocket.
Yeah, we ask for a deposit ahead of time. And if there's a huge issue with that with the homeowner, we usually, no problem. We'll just wait first day, just give it to us then, and we're going to show up with the paint so we're going to be there to do your job.
Yeah. So have you guys got into financing at all, or is that part of your business? Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, we offer that.
Sure.
We have through our CRM, ServiceTitan, they have Green Sky financing they offer.
Okay.
So there's 3 different options. And again, you can either use your money or you can use grease
their
guys
money
if
or
you want.
whatever.
Yeah.
100%.
Yep.
So again, this is Doug with Arizona Painting Company. Tell us how to get a hold of you and where you cover, like the whole valley. But
Yeah. Give our office a call, 602-648-3071, ArizonaPaintingCompany.com. And then I'm probably the most active on LinkedIn, where you can find me. So.
Cool. Again, it's Doug with Arizona Painting Company. Really appreciate you, man. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You betcha.